Today we're going to focus on a very specific exercise to help us with our first position placements in placing the different fingers of our violin on the keyboard. And we're going to do it by following some very specific steps. And I want to review with you some things because one of the things some of my students have issues with is making sure that they're hearing the notes correctly, that they know exactly where to place their fingers. So we're going to just do an exercise to help you with that. So with that being said, I've also shared before with you some supercharged violin our first position chart in prior videos in supercharged violin. However, today I want to highlight specifically just a quick reminder of our placements, of our left hand finger placements, where of course we have our thumb to hold, position our violin, and using our first, second, third, and fourth fingers. Okay, so from here now, what I want to show you today is we're going to play these specific notes on each string. The first 5 notes, including the open string, which would make it 5 notes. So it's the open, first finger, second finger, third finger, and fourth finger. But we're going to do it in a very specific manner. I want you to listen very carefully as we do it so that you can practice doing it too. So you may be wondering, why do we need this exercise? The main goal of the exercise is to have proper finger placement, to train your ear, gain versatility with the fourth finger. This is very necessary because it allows you to know exactly where things should go. If you know how they look and you know how they sound, you will be training your ear and training your fingers. Also, we want to remember that the finger pattern that we use for the first position with our fourth finger right here, it's the same. I want you to look really closely. It's the same on each string. Your fingers go in the exact same place on each string. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So when it comes to the finger placement, training your ear, and gaining the versatility with the fourth finger, which is a finger muscle that we have to develop, that is what I want to really highlight for you in a special way. So let's look at this again. This is how the notes, this is the exercise. And then, okay, let's get this slide in order here. All right, this is the steps we're going to follow. First, you want to make sure you tune your violin. You want to play the first 5 notes on each string. And it's important, for tuning your violin, when your violin is in tune, then you know you're starting from the right note. If you don't start from the right note, all the other notes will be out of tune. So you want to be in tune. And then you want to play the first 5 notes on each string. And if you look at the bottom for the 5th note, you're going to play it on the open string first, then play the note with the 4th finger, then play the 4th finger in unison with the open string. And I'm going to demonstrate that to you in a moment. And then the final thing to remember is that this is a major scale intervals pattern where we follow the whole step, half step, whole step intervals for the first 5 notes. So if you remember that, your fingers are going to be in the same position on each string, then that's going to help you. So the whole step, whole step, half step, whole step looks like this. And on each string, that's how it's going to look. Now let me demonstrate for you what they sound like. And I'm going to show you exactly I want you to see the notes as I play them, and then I'm going to show them to you. So these are the notes I'm going to play, starting with the G string. So G. So now let me show you so you can see. And then I'm going to play open D, then play the 4th finger, then play them together in unison. That's how I want you to do it. Now let's do the D string. Now I just played the 4th finger by accident. I wanted to play the open D, but open A rather. So let's do it again. Then I put on the 4th and together. And they must sound alike. If they don't, adjust your fourth finger until they do. Now let's do the A string. And play open E, then put on the fourth, and put them together. And then you play the E string. And on the E string, you have to play the fourth finger because there's no open string to put down. So just again as a recap, just remember when I do this, this is where the fingers are. Now if I put the fourth is here, it's a whole step. And you can literally see half step, whole step, half step, the fingers that are tight together, half step, and then the whole step again. I play the open string above the D, and then I put down the D on the fourth finger on the G, and then I play them together. I do the same thing on the D. I put down my four fingers, or I play the first three, play the open A, then I put down the fourth to match the play in unison with the A string. Then on the A string, I play the first three, play the E string, then I put down the fourth on the D to match the E, and then finally on the E string, I just play all four because there's no other string to test the last B note. So that's what I want you to do. And this is a very useful exercise because it really teaches you to be mindful of where you're placing your fingers, that they are in tune, that you're being mindful of the space between the fingers. And you can you can tune your violin with the tuner app. I have Sound Corset is a good one. That's a free app. There are paid versions, but you can use the free version. That way it tells you, if you're in tune, and you can tell if you're in tune and test right away. So I like that. I don't know, it's saying G, but it is an E. Okay, very much an E and then G. So you start, it's a G. It is totally a G. Okay. Yes, very much so a G. Okay, so that's what you want to do. First, again, make sure your violin is in tune. Then I want you to remember that you want to look at each note. So each note that you're playing are the first 5 notes of the open strings, and they are all in the same position on each string. The next thing I want you to do is just keep in mind the goal of the exercise, the proper finger placement, training your ear, and gaining versatility with the fourth finger. So again, start with your violin in tune, play the first 5 notes on each string, and play it on the open string, then play the note with the fourth finger, then play the fourth finger in unison with the open string, and I can add for an exception for the E string where it's only the fourth finger. And then remember that the major scale intervals pattern of whole, whole, half, whole intervals for the first 5 notes, and that way you will have a good way to practice it. So just try doing that. I'm going to play it for you one more time so that you can rehearse it. So start, make sure you're in tune with the A. That's your A string. Now the E. D string. G string. And for those of you who like it in order, I'm going to just go, so G, D, A, E. So once you're in tune, you can start from there. Now, I'll play the notes for the strings for you one more time. double note because it's only one place. So that's what our strings look like. And you might be asking, your fingers don't look like they're moving while you're playing. No, because I keep them very close to the string. So it's nominal movement. So if you see it from this angle, it doesn't look like I'm moving my fingers at all. But I very much am, but just very lightly. I keep my fingers hovered very close, very, very close to the strings, almost at all times, to make it very easy to reach each string. And this is a really important skill to keep in mind for violinists. Keep your fingers as close to the fingerboard as you can, and especially when you do these scale patterns and you're working on intonation, it helps you to conserve energy, it helps you to play more in tune, and also it makes it just easier to play. It's just a better way to practice. So that's the technique you want to practice. So let me know if this is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions about it, and we'll see you inside. Of course, for deeper studies, we have our Supercharged Violin monthly live meetings. We have other courses and other lessons to go deeper in your violin journey. So definitely check it out in the description below and stay supercharged. Bye bye.